Yo, what's good, fam? Today's episode featured a smooth and super cool visual artist by the name of Shoka Kamaria, or Shoka K. Shoka shares many experiences that influences the beautiful pieces he produces. I need to work on my scripts. That's too many E's. Anyway, tune in to Oakcliff Beach number 23. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm keeping it chill as always. I am keeping
Oh
it chill as
man,
always.
yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
to have you on.
Oh man,
And
I'm glad to be on. It's been so long since we actually spoken, let alone saw each other. Been
right,
years. Yeah.
ghost mode on both ends. Like that's just the
Hell
thing
yeah.
that
I
I
mean,
do,
I don't know if I can curse, but yeah.
bro. You can say whatever you like. I no, this
Yeah.
is not any E for everyone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. You ain't lying when you saying ghost mode because yeah, I left Facebook 2017. I don't remember, but I came back in late 2019. I almost took a break for like 2 years just to focus on my career and what I wanted to do and take a breather from social media just in general.
When you took that break, how did it feel? Did you feel like you could just do more? Is there I don't know, it seems like social media is this unnecessary
Yeah. Yeah,
weight
it,
on
it
you.
definitely felt that I could do more, just focus on my creativity alone. And I love seeing artwork from other artists. I'm a supporter of other artists, but it's like I need to dive into my own creativity, get inspired by my surroundings and get inspired by my own thoughts. I'm not trying to sound narcissistic or arrogant or anything like that, but I just wanted to see what I can do without the influence of other people or just social media altogether because it's a nice thing when you're using it the correct way, but if you're not using it the correct way, it can become very toxic, extremely
Dude,
toxic.
I feel you on that completely. I had to take a break myself. It
Yeah.
was it was it's it was funny because when I was even introduced to Facebook, I didn't even
Yeah.
want to get onto Facebook. I
Me
got on there
too.
because a class made it a requirement for
Oh
for us to
man.
get our grades. So I was forced into it.
Hell, I was forced into social media too, but instead of it being Facebook, I come from the MySpace generation. Well, the last MySpace generation. Uh, my girlfriend at that time, she told me that she created a MySpace page. I'm like, I don't even want to be on here. I don't want to be on here. And then when I got on there, I'm like, oh man, I love it. I love the music that you put on here. I remember this song from this artist Guapale that she put on. I think it was
Hmm.
this song called Different. I'm like, man, I love this. I love it. Okay, well, you know what? You won me over with that. You won me over with that, so I'm gonna be on here. When I had my MySpace, I was like putting like whole playlists together. It was like amazing until they screwed it up. But yeah.
For me, it was exactly that, and then
Yeah.
the networking. Honestly, at the beginning, everyone fell victim to this, or at least I know I did. Adding
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single soul in your
Yeah.
school, you don't even know these people, but you're just sitting there going,
I
"Well, I
know,
see
right?
you in the lunch
Yeah.
line, so."
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't remember how I got on Facebook, but I know I didn't want to be on it. I didn't particularly care for it. I don't absolutely remember. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't like Facebook or I dislike it. I just never particularly cared for it. I was on there, but I wasn't into it like I was into MySpace because it was like you can create your it was like coding. It was this box where you can put your own codes in there, create your own layout. I mean, it was like having a website. If
Mm.
they would have just done right, it could have been like the current Squarespace or, just man, those days were amazing. It really was.
Well, Facebook came, and I don't know. It's something I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time on MySpace. I made one
Oh yeah.
primarily to put out music when we originally were doing it,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and then like Facebook came out, and of course I was primarily there to promote
Yeah,
music and to interact with friends and whatnot. But there's
yeah.
something about that like that like system on Facebook, because a
Oh
person
man, it's like
is
addictive. It is
that.
so addictive.
But when you think about like what a person really is, we
Yeah,
really are is like our likes and our dislikes, and that's like
exactly.
Facebook capitalized on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I remember when I was heavy on Facebook, just like heavy on it, like all the time, like seeing if people like photographs that I edit, paintings, and if I didn't get a lot of likes, it would make me feel a certain way, like, damn, what did I do? I mean, what didn't I do? I mean, how can I get more likes? I mean, this person has more likes to me. That was like when I was in my late teens or early 20s or
Yeah.
but
I know that feeling, man.
yeah.
It's you have to reprogram your mind, and then because I know for me now, I use it like it's this my own diary and personal journey and
Yeah,
journal,
exactly.
because it's just
Yeah.
like it's supposed to be yours, so utilize it like
Yeah.
it's yours. If you see, I just be on there just ranting tangents. If I see
Oh, hell
something I
yeah.
like, I just post it.
Yeah, express it. I mean, don't hold that stuff in. You just get it out. Me, I took it. Shit. I mean, I remember when I my first time being on Facebook, I would say around 2010 or 2011. I used it as a diary too. I said a whole lot of cuss words, and man, I was just wow. I look back on it, I'm like, damn, how who all did I cuss out? I mean, can't believe I sounded so angry and whatnot. I'm like, man, it took me like years to like reflect on it. I'm like, yeah, I'm calmer now. I just whatever I feel that I have to say, I'll just write it down on a piece of paper, then to put it out on social media because then people think you're talking about them and you ain't saying a damn thing about them. You just ranting and raving on pop culture, and that was what I used to do. But can't say stuff like that because people think you're talking about them or people in your
Dude,
circle.
I don't even pay attention to that anymore. I will
Yeah,
see. So sort of I will. What I aim to do is I try not to attack people. That's the
yeah,
main thing that I try to keep in mind now.
yeah,
What I take certain approaches on things, and I try to give a balanced thought process and a full thought process. Most people when they're
yeah,
online, they're not trying to put time into that. They're trying to just
yeah,
see if you
exactly.
like the same thing that they do or not, and
Yeah,
then they'll start attacking you.
yeah, exactly. They will. That was how bad it was, until I got off and I just sat back and I really reflected. Like, what did being on social media add to my life other
Hmm.
than ranting and raving, trying to put my opinion out there when nobody really gives a damn? It's like, if I'm gonna be back on here, most of all, I need to be, I don't need to say any damn thing first. And that's exactly what I've done. I haven't said anything regarding to how I feel about, what's going on out here, pop culture in general. I've just been putting pictures up of my artwork and just putting up, I guess, post about what I've been in instead of hey y'all, I'm working on this, or I'm in the process of doing that, because most artists, they announce what they're doing. I wait until it's already done and I just put it out there.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
fell in so many traps of oh there was a
yeah,
project. The only reason it worked out is because I stayed up till about 4 a.m. working and
yeah,
completing that
exactly.
same project because I said something before it
Yeah.
was finished. And
Oh
I
man.
don't like that feeling. I don't like that
Yeah, yeah.
feeling at all.
Man, I used to be bad at doing that, but being off of social media for, that period of time, it really helped me to plan how I'm gonna promote myself as an artist. And, it's like if you put your plans out there, not that I'm saying anything bad or drawing negative energy towards you, but 9 times out of 10, people are gonna find some type of way to attempt to downplay what you're doing, and that might discourage you or just find a way to sabotage it. And it's like, I don't know if you think that way, but I think like that sometimes because, yeah,
I try
it's
to
like,
shut it out, But
Yeah.
tell me more about your experience when being off of social media. Where would you go for your inspiration? What would you what would you do to enhance your
Uh,
ability to create?
man, it was such a beautiful experience. I just go outside, watch the clouds go by, be out with nature, out with my cat, my literal cats, animal cats, So yeah, go around the city just taking photographs because I used to do that when I was in high school. I used to go out, take pictures at night because I was just drawn to like the night scenery for reason. It's like the lights, cars passing by. I don't know why, and I incorporated that in my art. I have this piece called Social Butterflies
Hmm.
where, you know, uh, it's this building across the street from the school that I used to go to, Pegasus. We used, we used to call it Fountain Place, but I don't know what they call it now because they did remodeling and they added another building to it. It's that blue triangle building downtown.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
actually love that
yeah,
building.
yeah. They added another building to that recently. So
Okay, I need to
it
go down
looks
there.
cool. It looks cool. I'm not gonna say that I don't like it. I mean, it looks really cool to be honest. But I like the old Dallas skyline, but I like this new skyline too. So it's awesome. But I just used to go down there, take pictures of like the water fountains and the tables with the umbrellas. It was just something about that place that just draw me to it. And I was like thinking in my head as a teenager, look, I'm gonna paint this place, but
Mm.
for some reason I see butterflies flying at night, and I've always been that way. I just always saw visions or pictures, glimpses of pictures in my head, and I just have to find some type of way to either put it on paper or I have to find some type of way to put it on canvas. I can't explain it to you, if I could, I would, but I just go with the feeling.
Yeah.
But and after I finish painting the image or drawing the image, the meaning of it doesn't come right away. It's like I have to sit back and look at what I created. And sometimes the meaning of it comes instantly, and sometimes it could like take months or years for me to come up with a meaning for that picture because it's always so difficult to explain what I create to other people. You know, I love when other people look at my artwork and they come up with their own meaning of what my art means versus
Mm.
me coming up with my own meaning because sometimes I don't have a meaning, and it's always good to uh for other people to see a fresh perspective than my own because I look at it like or seven when it's right. Yeah. But
It's amazing that you say that because that was actually a question I wanted to ask you. I wanted to
yeah.
know if you wanted people to find their own meaning in your art or if you
Oh
had a
yeah.
specific meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. I want people to find their own meaning when they look at my painting. I really do because I it's like I don't consider myself a formal artist or anything like that. I think a formal artist is like, well, this is what this symbolizes, and that's what that symbolizes, and that can only be mean this meaning only that meaning. But no, I don't consider myself like that. I've always considered myself like, what? It's whatever you want it to be, whatever. Because I wasn't taught how to draw or how to paint. I it I just fell into it. I've been doing it since I could remember. I don't remember the age. I mean, it was at a very young age, but I just started doing this.
Do you remember your first drawing ever?
Mm, no, not exactly. I remember drawing castles all the time when I was a kid because I was fascinated with architecture and just the way that castles look for some reason. Before that, I used to draw like houses and stick figures. years. I'm trying to remember back to my toddler because I used to draw on the wall too. So, uh, yeah. I would say the thing that really changed my life for my artwork to get better was video games like
Mm.
Super Mario. I remember playing as a kid, I think like 5 or 6. I don't remember the year because I was 9. I remember when I got Super Mario, and I was just fascinated with it. I love the colors, the levels, and I loved it so much that whatever level that I was on, I paused it, got my construction paper, got my Crayola colors or Crayola colored pencils, and I just started drawing. You know, it was like I love this scene. I gotta capture it. And I wish I would have kept those drawings, but I've always been a perfectionist since I was a little kid, so I probably ripped them up or threw them away. Damn, I should have kept that. If only I knew. Uh, what's that saying? If only I knew now or what I know then, or something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, that or
But you get what I'm
yesterday.
saying.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if I would have known it, I would have saved most of my drawings when I was a kid. But I just ripped that stuff up and I like threw it away. But thank God my mom, she hid my drawings, some of my drawings, so I wouldn't rip them up or throw 'em. But yeah, yeah.
It's
But
always good to have that person in your corner to
yeah,
save that kind of
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And video games really helped me out a lot. Just the levels. Uh, yeah, yeah. Then when I got I would say PlayStation because PlayStation was it had mostly 3D game.
Hmm.
The detail changed, the dimensions changed. It wasn't like 2D anymore. It evolved to 3D. And that really helped me out a lot because I remember this one level on this game called Crash Bandicoot Warp.
Oh man,
And it
that's you're
was
taking
just
me back. You're taking me
yeah,
back.
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, those were some good games back then, but it's just that I didn't get my PlayStation until late 1999 going into 2000 because people that were my age or older than me, they already played PlayStation in the 90s. I played Super Nintendo in the 90s. And that came out in the early 90s, and I was born in the early 90s, so I didn't get PlayStation till you might as well say 2000. So I missed out on that. But when I got it, I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. So oh yeah, back to that level. Yeah, back to that video game. um
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah.
yeah, Crash Bandicoot Warp. And there was this level called Future Frenzy or Tomorrow. It was like a futuristic city. And I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, this is so cool. This is awesome, And this time instead of construction paper, because I was like either 8 or 9 at that time, 2000. Yeah, I was like 8 or 9. I got printing paper and I just used my color pencils and I duplicated what I saw in
Hmm.
the on the level. I was like, I'm still into futuristic things, flying cars and like these unique architectural design. So it's amazing because I saw Fifth Element
Mm.
when I was like a kid. And I was like fascinated with like the futuristic version of New York and like all the flying taxis and just the scenery. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. So yeah. But
That was one of
video
my favorite
games
movies
really
as
helped me.
well.
Yeah.
Did when you were diving into those worlds, do you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you create those worlds? Like you basically take those worlds and you create your own, what
Yeah.
you feel from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I used to just duplicate what I saw when I was a kid, but as I got older, I would say like 10 or 11, I just started drawing what was mine. And that's all, and that is the best any person, any creative person can do to dive with their mind, dive, whether you're drawing, whether you're a musician, singer, hip hop artist, dancer, it doesn't matter. It's always good to like look within yourself, see what, see how you could
Let me
create it.
stop you real quick because it's
Yeah.
getting choppy,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm gonna have you disconnect and reconnect. That
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You left off where you were telling me about how you draw. You took basically the art you were being introduced to, and you
Yeah.
drew what you felt and what you were replicating in your mind, and then that turned into
Yeah.
you just creating those things in your mind.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Because uh, even when I was duplicating the pictures and the visual images that I saw on video games, I just added a little bit more than what they initially had, on the video games. So yeah, it's always just good to dive in your mind because you never know what you have until you, I guess, turn the television off or turn the computer off and just sit down in a quiet place and just, see what's in there, basically.
I was going through your paintings, and dude,
Yeah.
I really like them. They have
Oh man.
this
Thank you
like,
so
what
much.
is that? What is that? It's and there's an artist because I know
Yeah.
sometimes some people don't like comparing, art to other art.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I know for me, I feel there's this artist. I don't know who it is. When I
Yeah.
see some of these backgrounds, the
Oh
picture
man.
with the lady with that screaming.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. I think I know what artist, man. Think I know what artist you're talking about. I've seen that. I've seen it. I forgot his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let me, since we're here, let me just look it up so I can
Yeah.
see lady
And I
screaming
gotta look it up too
picture
to see which painting it is.
painting. I
Facebook
think it's
right
just
now.
called the Scream. Yeah, it's called the Scream, and it's by no, it's freaking Van Gogh. Look at that,
I
it's
was
Van
about
Gogh.
to say Van Gogh. I was about to say Van Gogh, but it's like I hesitated to say it because it was like, man, what if I would have got it wrong? Like, man. But yeah,
Hey man, it's
yeah.
all right to be
I,
wrong sometimes.
yeah, exactly. You're right about that. It is, like I dig Van Gogh's artwork. Like subconsciously I'm influenced by him. Uh I guess it's the way that he used to paint, his paint strokes, his overall style. It's cool. He's cool. His artwork
Yeah,
is,
I'm
yeah,
checking. Like, bro, just going through your art, it's
yeah,
like you guys are tapping into the same spectrum. It's like you got a vibrant version of, or maybe Google is just showing me a pastel
yeah,
version, but it, yeah, man, it's nice. I like the way you get engrossed in it. There's a
yeah.
video game that looks like this art. I need to find it and send you a link to that because it's
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, exactly. I would love to see it. But yeah, when I started paying attention to, other artists, because when I started out, you're a kid, so you're just doing whatever. You're just scribbling and scrabbling on, any surface. So I really wasn't paying attention to it. But when I was in homeschool around, I would say 9 or 10, I
Hmm.
started to pay attention to like the master artists. They call them the master artists, like Leonardo da Vinci, Van Gogh, Michelangelo. I think there was
What
so
makes
many
him a
artists that I paid
master?
to at that time. Yeah, yeah. And for some reason, I was like drawn to like the Mona Lisa, and it wasn't just because of her portrait. It was just like the whole thing entirely. Just the color scheme and the background, the way that he painted the fabric on it. It was just something about that piece that I used to duplicate it all the time when I was like a little kid,
Hmm.
so yeah. But I would say the thing that changed my life the most was going to New York. It was a very amazing experience. It was just so awesome because they're so free with their creativity. You see people dancing on the subways and performing in the streets and people doing art in the street. It was like, wow. I mean, it was like amazing. And I'm trying to do my best to explain it, but you know,
It's
it's
like
just
an
so hard to
experience you
explain.
got
It
an
really is.
experience.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, repeat that.
It's basically an experience you got it's an experience you got to experience. Have you ever taken a photo of something or you pulled your camera out and you put it away because you know that that photo is not going to do that photo the
Yeah.
realistic what you feel justice.
Yeah, exactly. I've always done that because certain things you just can't capture on camera, no matter how hard you try. You just have to experience the moment, and life is like that. Not everything is meant to be on camera. Not
Hmm.
every moment you can't capture on camera. You just have to experience it for yourself, and it's great. And it's a good thing, that other people can look at your experiences, but some experiences you need on your own to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to take you back real quick, back when you were talking about the master artist. And I had a
Hmm.
question because first I wanted to ask what makes
Yeah.
them master artists. And then I know from doing art sometimes myself or talking to other people that have done art, they would
Yeah.
always say how, when you're in class, they say these are your rules. But if you're
Yeah.
really doing art, you can do what the hell you want. So,
Yeah,
how do you
exactly.
feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Man, to be honest, you got me there because I really don't know. Like, I think I know why they call them the master artist because I think they've influenced everyone, whether it's subconsciously or whether they're, like aware of it. And, I really don't know. But to me, I guess they influence a lot of people. And when I started to pay attention to art in general, as I got older, as I became more aware of it, I started to pay attention to the way that their detail in their painting. I would say that the
Mm.
artist, my favorite artist as a teenager, I hope I don't get his name, Frank Frazetta, because
What's
he
that?
used to do comic books all the time, and my style was morphing into comic. You're getting older, you know, you notice women, so yeah, because I was a big fan of Mortal Kombat that I used to like just draw the women on there, is like, puberty and everything. But yeah, my favorite character was Jade. I just loved the way she looked, so I used to do comic books of Jade all the time. Like Jade, I gotta have Jade. I need Jade.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a Melina fan, and then I remember
Yeah.
she took off
Oh man.
the.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I used to have the biggest, well, before Jade, I used to have the biggest crush on Sindel. Not the Sindel from the video game, but the actress that played Sindel from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I thought that was like the greatest movie ever until, I got older and I read the comments like, oh, this movie sucked. I'm like, well, when I was a kid, I didn't think that this movie sucked. I thought it was awesome, but it just it's teach its own, yeah,
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
that there's a lot of times the memory of something is far greater than when you actually go back and revisit it.
yeah, yeah. You think, oh man, this is so awesome. It's yeah, it's everything in a bag of chips. It's amazing. And then when you like look at it, I'm like, oh, the graph. Oh wow. Okay, I mean, it looked different when I was a kid, but yeah. uh, yeah, yeah. But I would say Frank Frazetta. He was I was influenced by his artwork when I was a teenager. Um, other artists. I did a whole bunch of style. I didn't limit myself to one style. I got the name of this other artist, but he did fantasy based art, and he is a photorealist, and I love photorealism.
Mm.
I whatever I paint nowadays, I want to test what I can really do. So yeah, that's where the photorealistic aspect comes in. But I forgot this artist's name. Let me look. I know his first name is Howard. He used to like draw, paint dragons and uh mythical creatures. He mostly painted Greek myths. That's what he used. But he does a little bit of everything. I hope he's still alive.
Is it
Howard,
Howard Lyon, maybe?
I think it's Howard Johnson. Stay sure. Let me see. Let me see. Johnson. I probably got his name wrong. I'm trying to remember these memories as best as I can. It's kind of fuzzy, but I know his paintings when I see him, because I used to duplicate his paintings in my sketch pad. Okay, it's Howard David Johnson.
I'm looking at that now.
Howard David Johnson. I drew fantasy things. I was inspired to draw fantasy theme drawings in my sketch pad all the time when I was like in 8th grade. So he had an impact on my art when it comes to drawing, like people.
These look
So yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Think
exactly. I'm trying to remember what our other artists influenced. But I would say the thing that influenced me most was when I went to New York, because I drew women. I did draw women, but they were like in bikinis and stuff like that because, yeah. But when I went to New York, it was more fashion oriented,
hmm
high fashion, stuff like that because I grew up in like the fashion industry. My mother, she's an ex-model, um, an ex-actress too, so yeah. But I was always around fashion. It's just that I didn't start to notice it more until I got into like my mid-teen years. And the models that I drew, I put them in high fashion clothing,
mm.
and New York really changed my life in so many ways. Their creativity, it just, if you're not from there and if you're visiting, it radiates. It just radiates, and you know you absorb it while you're there. You absorb some of it while well, you absorbed a lot of it while you're there, to tell the truth. You know, but yeah, that place really changed my life. It was just being around the city. People always moving, action, the subway, Coney
It does feel
Island.
like a bunch of energy. I haven't
Yeah.
been. I really
Oh
want
yeah.
to go because it's an experience like no
Yeah.
other place. I honestly, yeah, I don't feel like there's any other place within America that feels
Yeah.
just as crazy as New York.
Yeah, yeah, you need to go. You really do need to go. I mean, it's like you, I'm trying to do my best to explain the experience, but words can't, explain it. You have to actually be there. If you're a creative person, so you'll understand what I'm talking about
I
when
do.
you're actually there.
It's it's crazy because I know when a lot of people talk about it, they always mention the upbeatness of it, just the
Yeah.
high energy, the crowded place,
Oh
the
yeah.
I don't want to go to Broadway. Broadway is just this energy that's beyond
Yeah.
itself. And like what is that? For me, I went to Baltimore, and when I was
Yeah.
going up to Baltimore, I realized instantly that just from the traffic alone, there's
Oh
a
yeah.
different personality there. There's a
Hmm.
different speed. That
Yeah.
Southern hospitality is, is something that's not exactly
That's
there.
out the window. It is. It's out the window. I mean, you're
But what
not
can you
lying about
expect?
that.
What can
Yeah.
you? It's a bunch of people in a
Yeah.
crowded. It's crazy how big that place is and how
Yeah.
small it is at the same time, and
It
all those
is.
people are there.
Yeah, it is. It's a big place. creatively, just a whole lot of energy there. But like, you're not lying about those small spaces because I remember going into my sister's first apartment in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. That was like in 2000. Yeah, my first time going up there. My first and only time going up there was in 2006. It was summer of 2006. I stayed up there for 2 weeks. I think I stayed up there for 2 weeks. I don't remember, but I stayed up there for a while. But yeah, her apartment in Clinton Hill, at that time, neighborhood of Clinton Hill was just, it was a very chill environment. It was really cool. It was very beautiful. That was before they built up the stadium that's over there. But it was like so cool, Definitely. It reminded me like a certain place of Oakcliff. It really did. Like sort of like the Bishop's Art District. It was like
Mm.
it just had like a laid back vibe to it. But
To
being in
find that
my
in New York has got to be a gem
yeah.
within itself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it is up there now because I haven't been up there in like 14 years. But when I went up there, it was this is gonna sound so corny, but I remember my first time getting on a plane. I was scared as hell because, I didn't want to get on planes, especially after September 11th.
Mm.
I didn't want to get on planes. I just didn't want to get on planes. Not only that, but I was already afraid of planes prior, you know, to that event since I was a little kid. I want to get on. I mean, I don't have a problem riding the bus. Yeah, it was my first time getting on a plane in 2006, and when it took off, it's like all the anxiety went away. It was like being on a, when you're going up a roller coaster
Mm-hmm.
and you're going up, but being on a plane, it's like that too. But you continue, you just continue to go up, and then you look outside the window, and it's like, wow, look at all these clouds. It's like, man, I know they're clouds, but it looks like you can like land on them, just walk on them. That
It's
was
a different
it was
feeling.
it. Yeah, it was a beautiful experience. We got on the plane to go from Dallas to Georgia, and flying over Georgia, it's very beautiful. It's a lot of trees in Georgia. I didn't realize it's a very beautiful place. And then we connected from Georgia to New York, and the sun already went down. Uh, it was night, and we were at LaGuardia Airport. My sister and I, we were at LaGuardia Airport,
Mm-hmm.
and when I stepped on the surface in New York at LaGuardia Airport, it was like being in the city of Oz because the ground, kid you not, was sparkling. It was just sparkling. I'm like, this feels so magical. It feels very magical. I'm trying not to sound corny, but that was how it felt because you're in Texas all your life, and then you go to a place like New York where it's like a whole nother world. It's like wow, just like very breathtaking. You
That
know?
does sound beautiful. I have
Yeah,
never been on a plane. It's been on the
yeah.
to-do list for the longest, man. I to the point where I was considering getting on a plane from Dallas to Houston to just come back to go to Houston to Dallas like
Yeah.
that in one day. I still need to do that. I
Oh
really do.
man, you need to. You definitely need to. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but yeah, you definitely need to because it's like it's that first experience was wow. I still remember it to this day. Yeah, but get definitely try it. Not when COVID is going on right now because
Yeah,
I don't.
that's the main that's the
Yeah,
only thing. Now I'm just like, well, COVID is real at the moment.
yeah, it's real. It is. It sure as hell. It's real. I mean, like, man, yeah, I just
But
remember better days.
yeah, but
Yeah,
but with that the plane thing, I know another thing that just because you mentioned the sun going down, and I bet
yeah.
that's an experience in itself to be on a
Oh
plane
man,
while a
it is an
sunset is
experience.
occurring.
Oh,
Ah,
repeat that.
to just to be on a plane while a
Oh yeah,
sunset is occurring. That just has
yeah.
to be beautiful. I gotta see
Mm,
that kind of stuff.
man, it is beautiful. It really is because like you're traveling around different time zones across the United States, and most people, they're on the ground, so they don't see what happens in the sky when the sun sets, and the sun is still up at like I would say 8. I mean, yeah, 7 going into 8. You can like see it like go down. I mean, it's yeah, it's very amazing being in the sky, watching everything. It is so peaceful. It is absolutely so peaceful. Even though you're in a plane with, a whole bunch of people and sometimes noise, but you look out that window, it transport your mind to another place. It's like your mind. I was talking about the clouds earlier and how they look like you can like land on them.
Hmm.
You know, that's where my mind was. I was in the clouds. I was on the clouds. I was walking on the cloud. You know, it, yeah, it's just amazing. It's like a serene. It's a serene feeling. That you like when a person tells you about it, you have to experience it for yourself because I'm trying to do my best to, explain it
Paint
to
that
you. But
picture verbally, but it's an
yeah,
experience. You
yeah,
gotta experience for yourself. I feel it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you just have to experience for yourself. Um, I'll never forget it. I will never forget that because I when I got to New York, had my sketch pad with me and everything. I just drew the cloud. I would say flying in an airplane proved the way I do cloud. Whether I'm drawing clouds, whether I'm painting clouds, I always remember looking out the airplane window because yeah, it's a unique experience.
I gotta make sure I do that. I gotta do that. And definitely
Yeah.
before I do this, I was talking to another lady on a cast once, and she brought up skydiving, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was one of those weird situations where I
um.
kind of talked myself into saying maybe I'll do it for the 100th episode. So
Yeah. Yeah, you
therefore,
should. Oh man, I'm not gonna say you should because I don't want to be responsible for anything. Not that I'm putting that energy out there, but
right? I said I'd probably wait to the 1,000th episode. That way, it's a good number of episodes for somebody
yeah,
to listen to up to that point.
yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly,
knock on some
exactly.
wood just for that energy
Yeah,
to be correct when it happens.
yeah,
But
exactly. Like I always wanted to do skydiving. Like, man, I want to do skydiving. It's like I wouldn't do bungee jumping, but I'm just crazy enough to do skydiving. I don't
why
know
not? Why not bungee jumping though?
because like in my head, and this might not make a lot of sense, but in my head, I'm like thinking, you know what? Skydiving is safer. You have plenty of time to prepare before, I guess, impact or whatever, because you got your parachute, and you're gliding in the sky when the parachute opens or whatever, versus bungee jumping. The cord might snap. You don't have enough time to prepare.
Hey,
So I don't know, and I've heard of some things, and yeah, and
I feel that because you're on a
yeah,
bungee cord and you're gonna be
yeah,
doing that bounce back more than once.
yeah,
Skydiving, you got
exactly.
that one shot, and you
Yeah, and I
it's
and
either
I
this or
feel and I
that.
feel yeah, yeah, I feel so bad for those people that didn't, survive that. That's a very devastating experience for their loved ones. So, but yeah, including skydiving too, because skydiving is very dangerous, but professional skydivers make it look so fun to do. It's like,
Yeah,
oh man, I want to do it too. You just never know.
I know a lot of people talk about it as it's this. It's honestly, it
Yeah.
feels almost like the equivalent of it's like another way to reach an ego death because you're
Mhm.
in the middle of something you can't control. You're in
Yeah,
between. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. You're in between life or death. It could go correctly or it could not
yeah,
go correctly. It's crazy because
yeah.
that's what it is. That's
Oh man,
exactly what it is.
you're right about that. You're definitely right about that. I mean, even getting on roller coaster. The last roller coaster that I got on was the Titan 2010. I was 19 years old. I was with my friend.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, let's get on this. Let's get on this." Because in my head, I haven't been to Six Flags in a while, and then I got on all the roller coasters, and I'm like thinking, okay, I'm gonna prepare myself to get on the Titan because I'm gonna get on this damn thing. And I was like getting on all the roller coasters and thinking, okay, I conquered that, I conquered this, I conquered all these other roller coasters out here. Yeah, I'm gonna conquer the Titan. The last roller coaster that I got on before the Titan was like the Batman roller coaster
Ah,
where they have your legs hanging down, and I'm like, a semi-tall person, I guess like 5'9". Hell, I don't got my height. I can't remember, but I'm in between those two, size, heights. So my legs were like dangling, and I was like ducking and dodging because the damn thing was like going so fast. I'm like, man, I don't want to lose my leg or anything like that, So I'll just have my legs held tight together, and it was somewhat intimidating, but I wasn't scared. I was just, scrunching my body all close together, But yeah, I got
it's
on the
funny.
Titan and yeah,
Oh,
man, yeah, it's like a funny, scary experience altogether. You know, I got on the
when
Titan.
that. Oh, my bad for interrupting you.
Oh no,
Go
no,
go
go
ahead
ahead.
and tell
I can
tell
talk.
your Titan story. Tell your Titan story, and I'll come back
Oh,
to what I was
oh
going to
man,
say.
like I try to get my friend to go along because I wanted us to go on it together, and before I got on the ride was stuck. It was just stuck, and I didn't know it was stuck, and I was already in line, and I didn't want to back. In my crazy 19-year-old head, I'm like thinking, I'll be all right. I mean, yeah, it got stuck, but nothing bad is gonna happen to me. Yeah, let's just go on it. You only live once. That was what I was thinking at that time because that was a saying back then. YOLO. I don't know if they
Yeah.
still say it now, but yeah,
It's funny because that's exactly what I was going to tell you. Because when
yeah,
I get on any kind of ride, if it's at the
yeah,
fair, if it's at the
yeah.
roller coaster, at Six Flags, I always
Oh
start off
yeah,
with saying, okay, I made the decision today to get on this ride.
yeah.
Therefore, I'm okay with dying today.
Oh man.
I know it's not the way you should be thinking about it, but it's like
Oh,
in some form or fashion, you're like, okay, all right, now I'm just gonna enjoy it because I'm over the hump of
yeah.
am I gonna be afraid of death? And then you just say, okay, well, it's out the window now. I
Yeah,
made
you're
the
like, "F
decision.
it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I shook hands with. Now I'm ready. Let's do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's same here, and I definitely agree with that, but even when I went to the fair in like 2007 or 2008, one of those years, um, I got on the slingshot. I think they call it the slingshot, and it's like in this spherical object thing where they like strap you down, and you're like looking up at the sky. And I remember this Rihanna song playing in the background. That's how much I remember it. And I think it was like Shut Up and Drive, or it's like 2007 or 2008.
Hmm.
And I was in a slingshot. 1 minute I was on the ground, and the next minute the sky seemed closer to my eyes for some reason. I didn't even have time to brace for impact. They just like shoot you up in the sky. I'm like, well,
Oh
damn.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking at this. This is some. It's crazy. It's crazy
yeah,
when you see how fast these kids are moving. I wish if I
yeah.
was at my computer, I would share it with you so you could see it too. But it's
Oh,
crazy. It's a
yeah.
blur. It is a blur, and
It
you're
is a
in
blur.
that thing trying to
Yeah.
keep yourself together.
Yeah, and some people they pass out. They pass out and they're lucky. I didn't pass out. I got to experience that torment. I got to experience my self torment that I put myself through. I'm like, well, damn. But it was fun. It really was fun. It really was. Yeah. Oh,
Those
yeah, the
experiences are
Titan
everything.
story. Yeah,
Hmm.
the Titan story. Yeah. I was trying to get my friend to go on, but he didn't want to go on. I'm like, all right, I'll do it myself. The ride was stuck before I got on. And
Hmm.
in the roller coaster, we were going up, and I was like thinking, okay, this is gonna be easy, I'm not even gonna sweat this ride, I'm just gonna, just chill, you know, and just whatever. You know, we were like on our way up, just continuously going up, and I didn't realize that ride was that damn tall. I didn't realize it at all until I was like looking and I saw the Dallas skyline. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is very high. And then, you get to the very top of it and you look down and you don't even have time to brace for impact. And you're like, screaming and just, well, I wasn't screaming. I didn't scream until the very end of it because I'm like, oh Lord, please don't take me right now. you know, and I'm sitting next to this, I think we were like both the same age, this other person, and we were like looking at each other. I'm like, oh my God, we were like silently praying to each other, in our heads, just like ducking and dodging and just trying to like avoid the metal beams because that ride, it's fun, but that ride is dangerous. It's very
Yeah.
dangerous because it goes so damn fast. I mean, I've heard reports where people got seriously injured from riding a Titan, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's was I thank God that I'm still here to tell the story, and ever since then the ground has been my friend.
What's crazy is that humans do this to themselves. It's like when you eat
Yeah.
a pepper, it's your
Yeah.
body is responding to the heat of that pepper
Yeah.
as a defense mechanism. We do this
Oh
shit to
yeah.
ourselves all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We do like some stupid stuff to ourselves. I remember this cinnamon challenge when people were like eating cinnamon, trying to eat cinnamon, and I didn't realize that cinnamon will do that to you until I saw that damn challenge. And I'm like, why would y'all do that to yourself? It dries your mouth out. You can't breathe. You're choking. I mean, but hey, that's them, and I can't judge because someone would ask me, well, why would you get on a roller coaster? You know? Yeah.
Dude, if
So,
humans could try out death and they knew that they had a possibility of not coming back from it, they would do it. They would do it.
mm, wow, man, that's deep. That's real deep. I never thought about it like
Yeah,
that's
we're all
absolutely,
we're all we're all interested in the experience or hiding the
yeah.
experience. It's I mean that alone kind of feels like skydiving at the next level, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Yeah, it really does, like yeah, some people want to know what's on the other side, you know, want to see if their loved ones over there. Yeah,
for their loved ones or just to see or grasp, just
yeah,
just just to just to
yeah.
experience it, just to experience it.
Yeah, and some people come back and they describe what it was like, just uh their experience on the other side. Yeah. But I don't want to rush it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm trying to also experience this side as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, experience it to the fullest, just like do something new every day. Uh have new experiences. I don't know. Hell, I mean, it's kind of hard, difficult to have new right now.
Well, from
Priority.
what you've experienced so far, outside of New York, or I'm wondering if New York would be the answer, what would be your greatest experience that you have had?
I would say, man, I have so many. Well, my recent experience not too long ago, a a painting, actually three paintings that I did, cars, and I have the photographs on my Facebook, but the series itself, and it's still not complete, and I'm still gonna do it. But it's called Drive, and the reason why I named it Drive is because people are like cars. We either have a drive to, accomplish goals and dreams and aspirations. Well, it's all the and we like to wander. You know, it's like a destination sort of thing. That's
Mm.
why I named it Drive. And I wanted to just to drive to draw cars, well, to paint cars because I've never done it, and I was always interested in doing that. I did it around 2017. No, wait a minute,
I'm looking at them
late
now.
20, yeah, like late 2016 going into 2017. Because it was just something new for me. I was just looking up cars on Pinterest, and I came across this Lamborghini Aventador at this like a picture of it in the garage or outside of garage, and I just love the way the colors look. I'm like, I need this picture. I gotta paint this picture. I had the picture at first, then I accidentally deleted it.
Mm.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But it took me like I would say a couple of months to find that picture again because I needed that picture. Um, and by the grace of God, I found it again. It took me a couple months later in 2017, and I love painting that picture. But this favorite painting of mine is, I would say, a black car that I painted in the desert. I just love it, and I
Is
never, I never say, I like what I do, but as an artist, you never, at least for me, I'm really never satisfied by what I do because in my head I'm thinking, oh, I could have done this better. I I could have added more detail to this or done that better, and I'm trying to I don't think I can ever get out of that mind frame because, it's both a blessing and a curse
yeah.
of being a perfection. It really is. It really is. But
It keeps you
I did
going.
what
You keep leveling up because of it, man.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. You really do keep leveling up because of and I guess if I didn't have it, I don't know where I would be, but I'm grateful that I have, I guess, the perfection mindset. Oh man, I just got a text. I hope it doesn't interview my freaking interview right
You-
now.
You're good.
Interrupt my
You're
interview
good.
right now because I'm trying to have this interview. This is my very first interview on the podcast.
You're good, man.
Yeah, it's my very first one on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. But thank you so much for having me. I mean, you know, it's just such an honor to be here. It's amazing to be talking to you again. I mean, it's awesome.
I'm glad you took the time out, man. I'm enjoying just hearing your processes and then
Yeah,
also being able to look at the photos while we're talking because I'm looking at the
yeah.
Chrome in the desert one and it takes me back for
Oh
when
yeah,
I
Chrome in the Desert. Yeah, I was trying to remember the title because I called it Chrome in the Desert, but then I renamed it Clarity for another reason because it's
Clarity's cool
like,
too.
yeah. So it could be either or. It doesn't matter to me. Uh, but that picture, I was really drawn to do that picture because it's like in order to, I guess, find yourself, you have to find clarity to to me, you know. You can't be around in a place where you don't feel, I guess, motivated or around a bunch of noise. It's like you got to get away to, find your inner voice.
Mm,
That's why I did that picture. A drive to find your inner voice. That's why I named it Drive. It's because we all have drive. We all have a drive to do something. Strive for the best in our lives. And and I never. I didn't have the time to finish that. collection like I wanted to, but I'm still gonna work on it, but just on like a different size of canvas. And I'm
Hmm.
still gonna use the same pictures, but I'm just gonna add my own twist to it because Drive, the first incarnation of it was just experimental because I never painted a picture of a car. I drew cars, but never painted a picture of a car. But painted a picture like when I painted cars, it's like I loved it. I love it. It's like a different. I can't describe it to you because some people, not in the cars, and and to tell the truth, I'm still trying to learn more about cars.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I couldn't save my car outside of changing the fluids in it.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I don't even know how to drive, but yeah, exactly.
Okay, man.
I needed to learn how to drive a while back, but my head
Hey,
learning
you dropped
this is
out? I'm
in
not
my
sure if are you still, yeah.
yeah
Sorry about that. You had dropped
yeah
out before you had said I needed to learn how to drive.
yeah. I don't even know how to drive. I need to learn how to drive because I was when I was a teenager, I'm like thinking, well, I'm gonna be in New York after I graduate high school, so I don't need to learn how to drive. I just have to learn how to catch the subway and the bus route and whatnot. But no, that didn't quite work out that way. So yeah, I
I
really
can
do need to
relate.
learn how to drive.
I didn't learn how to drive until I moved back to Dallas at one point.
Yeah,
And because when I was in Denton, I mean, everything was there. I liked walking. I didn't need
yeah,
wheels. If I wanted to go to the store, I would walk there and then I would
hell
carry
yeah,
that back. That's what I did.
yeah,
And what really changes it is if you start interacting with people. Once you start
exactly,
interacting with more people, then your necessities switch up.
yeah.
That's what it felt like for me, especially when I got back to Dallas because I started meeting up with people and I didn't want to do the dart thing anymore. I started meeting with people that didn't
Yeah,
live in Dallas, so you had to
yeah.
figure out how you were going to get there.
Yeah, that Dart thing, that I can tell you some stories connected with Dart. Just sitting and witnessing all the shit, the effery, because I'm not trying to, go hardcore cussing because I'm just trying to, But I've seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff on Dart. But
Bro,
I can
share your
relate to it.
story. Share a dart story, because
Uh,
I've had some stories galore from my
mhm.
experience from riding dart too.
Oh man, share yours first because yeah, I don't I want to hear yours.
Okay, okay. I remember this important one. This is when I learned that
Yeah.
in the real world, you shouldn't be out there fighting people because at the end of the day, you both go to jail. I
Oh hell
remember
yeah.
there was a guy that got on. He was drunk, and it was a
Oh
Hispanic
man,
guy,
those are the
probably in
worst.
his late 40s, late 40s
Oh
Hispanic guy, and he was drunk. And
oh
he
wow.
was at first he was just having a conversation with everybody that was around or looked at
Yeah.
him, but then
Yeah.
there was some I can't even call them gentlemen for their behavior, but there were some
Yeah.
guys on the bus. They just looked at it as he was drunk and he
Yeah.
has a backpack. I think they saw a laptop in his backpack, and then it just turned into he's drunk,
Oh,
let's jacket stuff.
that was an
And
easy lick. They were trying to do an easy lick. Yeah.
and it was hard to watch it because as a
Yeah.
kid you go, should you intervene? Then you start going, nope, you shouldn't intervene because
Yeah.
you're a freaking kid, or you're just watching it. You're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you probably, I know for me personally, I was just like, this isn't going to be anything, right? This isn't going to happen. This isn't going to
Yeah.
happen. Well, it did happen, and next thing I
Oh
remember
man.
was them fighting on the bus, and I remember him talking to someone,
Oh,
and they actually got up and punched him. And it was one of those punches when you see someone get lit up,
oh yeah.
because the regular person doesn't really go throughout their day
Yeah.
feeling or taking on pain, and at least that's what it seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you see that, and you see this guy just kind of get basically not necessarily knocked unconscious, but it
Yeah.
was enough to where you could tell that he wasn't completely there after that hit. But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
it was
man.
after that though, the bus driver just stopped the bus, called the
Man.
authorities, and the people that had the confrontation, even the guy that didn't do anything, if you ask me,
Yeah.
the Hispanic guy might have been drunk, but he didn't have the fight. So they took both of them though. It wasn't any
Oh man.
questions. It was just get off and we'll sort this out at the station. I'm pretty sure they had to spend the night in the at
Yeah.
probably loose there, and
Yeah, probably.
it's just like that was a moment where I realized, okay, maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, if you can limit your confrontations, it's best to your freedom and your survival.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, you know, riding on Dart, I love talking to, I've had friendly encounters with, alcoholic people. We would just talk, about life, different topics, uh, just stuff. I never had any a negative experience with a person. I mean, I don't even like to call them drunks. I mean, I never had a negative experience with a person, you know, who drinks alcohol excessively. So yeah,
No.
I mean, they have a unique perspective, you know, and there are different reasons for people drinking alcohol and doing, different substances. Maybe just I don't know. They've been through something in their life. Just make them like that. Because, they're good people. They really are. They're humans at the end of the day. That's how I see it. And that's how everyone should see each other as human beings. You know. It doesn't matter if, you're on alcohol or on any type of drug or anything like that. At the end of the day, that person is a human being. And, for those people to do him like that, try to steal his laptop and hit him and, just attack him like that, nah, that says a lot on their part. That really
Yeah,
does say a lot on their
they're
part.
coming from a dark place, and it's it's sad that that's exactly what's out there. It's you have the
Yeah,
people who are, hey, we are human, we realize that, but then there's
yeah,
also as my grandpa would say it, there's givers and takers, and
yeah,
that's pretty much what that scene was. They saw an opportunity for them to get ahead and to take
yeah,
advantage, and
yeah,
that's what basically, yeah, that's what kind of happened from that.
yeah, yeah. It's very sad. It's so sad, so many ways. I can't. You telling me to tell my stories, but I can't even remember because I've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, man, on Dart, I've seen a lot of things on Dart that I can't pick out one memory because they're all memorable in a different type of way. Man, it's
Well, I
I'll
do have a
never.
question for
Yeah.
your experience when it comes to public transportation, because I would
Oh yeah.
always joke about this when
Yeah.
you're at the West End, especially if someone was coming around, they want to ask you questions, or
Yeah.
those random people that either they want to
Yeah.
ask you for your, like, hey, you got some money or a bus pass, or they want to have a random story to tell you. What I've
Oh
noticed
yeah.
is if you have like a smile on your face, or if you look any form of happy, that's when you become a victim.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, like I'm an expressive person, as you can see right now. And it's kind of hard for me to be monotone, even though I try to be monotone, but for some reason when I speak, I'm expressive, and I've always been that way. I don't know why, but yeah, well, hell, I mean, I was an actor, so I guess that worked out fine when I had to do
Okay, you got
stage
to tell me
plays.
about that. I didn't. It's funny because we've done similar things. I did a bunch of plays when I was younger, but yeah,
Yeah.
tell me about your acting days. What would you starring in?
Oh man, man. Okay. Like besides doing art, I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, man, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a golf player. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be on Soul Train, but that didn't pan out. I mean, yeah, I wanted to be so many things, but I loved acting. I guess it was just the fascination of people being on TV, because you think it's all glamorous and just being in commercials, being on sitcoms, because that's what I wanted to be on. I wanted to be in the movies. But I remember my very first play in high school, freshman year. I don't remember if I did any previous. Nah, I don't know if speeches count as plays, but it wasn't a play per se. I did a speech when I was a little kid on the first the I forgot his name. Well, I know his name. It's Daniel Hell Williams. Daniel Hell Williams. He performed open heart surgery. Let me look him up because I did a I did a speech about him. I was portraying him. You
Hmm.
know, yeah. This was like when I was in second or third grade. I don't remember, but I was portraying him for Black History Month. It was awesome. It really was. Daniel Hell Williams. Yeah, he was like the first open heart. Well, he was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
performed the successful. I don't know how to pronounce that word. We're just gonna say open heart surgery, and we're just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, but
I feel you.
yeah. As I got older, my very first official play, I think, was Tartuffe. I was in ninth grade. I don't remember the character that I did because I did two characters, two characters. I did a play two times.
Hmm.
One when I was in ninth grade, and a second time. I don't remember if I was in dual credit at El Centro or it was my actual college year as a freshman because I started taking college classes when I was in high school. But I did that play two times, and I don't remember which characters I played, but I didn't play the same character when I did it. So yeah, it wasn't written by Shakespeare, but it was written by somebody. Let me play up.
Moliere, I believe.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. It was written by Moliere. Yeah. So that was the very first play that I did. The second play that I did, crap, I'm trying to remember because it was a decade, 11 years ago, because I did Tartuffe in 2006 and 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And the second, it was called Ubu. I
Ubu.
don't
I've
remember
never heard
which
of
character.
Ubu.
Yeah, yeah. Uh Man, it was man, I'm bad at this. I'm trying to remember. I really am. Oh man. It was at El Centro.
Hmm.
Ubu Roy. Yeah, Ubu Roy. That was the title of the play. I'm searching it up right now. And I don't remember the character I played in that either. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember the character I played in that either. But all I know is that, to make a long story short, I was expressive. Let's just say that. I was expressive. And third play I was in was R2R. And this was in 2010. I remember that play because I had on a white suit and I love dressing up.
Hmm.
Love dressing. I've always been in the fashion and whatnot, especially uh like my very first, well, actually before I graduated high school. I've been through many, I guess, eras in my life. One where I wasn't in the fashion, but then I got into fashion, because I used to wear black all the time. I was in
I
my,
remember
oh, the
that.
world's out to get me, and I hate the world, and, you know, yeah, that phase, that phase that all teenagers go through. You know, I just used to wear black all the time, and
Everybody
I got
goes to
out of
that. I
black.
want to wear black face.
Yeah, I want to wear blackface because nobody gets my pain and nobody gets where I'm coming from and I hate the world and nobody gets me phase and all that type of stuff. And that lasted when I was like it started when I was like no, I wasn't 12. Was I 12? Hell, I don't remember. Cuz when I was 11, I went to this damn school. Shit, I don't even like to talk about that crap. But but fast forward to, being at the Pegasus years. We're not gonna talk about sixth grade because that's a whole nother story, and I'll really get to cursing on that shit because I still ain't over that. But
Oh
you know,
man.
you live
I,
and you learn.
well, so first, what is your deal with cursing? Are you're just trying not to or
I'm
to?
trying not to. I really am.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm trying not to. Look, I mean,
I
you know,
I I gotta
I
get to
can
that.
go there. I can definitely go there
But
because
on a
I
side
see
note,
them.
I do want to comment on because ever since I've known you, you've always
Yeah.
had like you've always been a sharp dresser. I remember it back from just the Centro days. Like, bro,
Oh
you was
yeah.
always a sharp dresser, and it was cool. It was cool. It's like it was
Ah,
just
thank you
chill,
so much.
elegant. It was yeah. It was dope. It was dope.
Well, well, to tell you the truth, I was making up stuff as I went along. I mean, I didn't have a plan. I guess, you know, it came in when you're going to school all your life and you're stuck in uniform, you know, and you don't really, for some people, I guess the parents, they think, okay, uniforms, that's convenient for me. I don't have to pay for my kids' clothing, stuff like that. But uh, when I got out of, transitioning from high school to college full time, it's like, oh, I can wear this, I can wear that. Okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. And I just got my financial aid, and I'm like, oh, I got all this money. Wonder how.
Every college kid out there listening, I need you to remember
Yeah.
that's not that's not what you do.
But I didn't blow through it like that because, compared to the people that I used to hang out with at North Park Mall, they blew through through their money like that. They got like watches and some high fashion, well, I don't like to call it high fashion, but just like luxurious stuff or what they, yeah, they blew through it like that. My thing was thrift stores. I grew up on the
Mm.
thrift stores because, the fashion industry, there was this place called the Apparel Mart way, way back before I was born. Um, my grandmother used to work out there. My mom used to work out there. Uh, my family comes from fashion, and I'm not sounding cocky or anything like that, but I guess it was hereditary. I
Mm.
guess I was gonna pick it up. I mean, as an artist, I just dress the way that I draw or paint. I don't know if that makes sense. I really don't know if that makes sense, but
I thought you were gonna
I
say
just,
felt or
yeah,
expressed or what you were yeah, what you were feeling. You dressed
yeah,
the way you felt.
yeah. I dress the way that I painted. That's how I dress. I dress the way that I painted. Like some days I would have on suits, and some days I would have on t-shirts that I painted and pants that I painted. I never did wear skinny jeans. I tried that one time, but it didn't feel right. I'm like, I don't know how y'all do it, but my hat's off to y'all, I guess. But
I
um, you know,
was
I,
one of the victims of that.
hey, it was the early 2010s, so yeah. I wore a lot of stuff that I have to look back on. I'm like, oh shit, I wore that. Oh, okay.
Dude,
Damn, I went
I
outside looking like that. Damn.
bro, I don't know if you remember because my biggest thing back in Centro days and even late high school years, I would
Yeah,
just throw on a jean jacket and some jean
yeah.
pants and wear a tank top everywhere.
Oh,
That was me.
oh yeah, yeah. I do remember. I do remember. Yeah, yeah. I remember that. Man, I used to. I don't know what the hell I used to do. I just did whatever, except for skinny jeans and tank tops because I was very conscious about showing my arms, and I never liked wearing shorts anyway. I've always been like that since I was a little kid. I just never liked shorts. But like tank tops, I used to wear them all the time when I was like a kid in my early teens. I would say the last time I wore a tank top out in public was when I was 12 years old. But I
Do you
don't know
think you would ever
why.
get into fashion? Or yeah, do
Huh?
you think you would ever get into fashion?
I don't really know. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, like, I love painting t-shirts. I love painting on clothing, just art on clothing, and wearing it. But man, it's fickle. Fashion is very fit. The fashion industry is really fickle. It really is. That's like someone told me a while back, "Hey, you should get into fashion." I'm like, I don't know about that. I really don't know because yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot connected with the fashion industry and what's in, what's not in, and that was
Yeah.
my main thing was not trying to look like everybody else back then. I was just doing my own thing, just whatever I felt like. I put on a suit, I put on like orange neon pants, neon dicky pants or whatever, and a neon green shirt. I just did that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, I was into like certain cuts. If the clothing was like cut a certain way, I was into that,
Mm.
and just certain colors I was into. I was just all over the place, to tell the truth
And
about it.
you were dressing like you painted. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
it's because you say painted. I also
yeah,
see it also as feel because that's
yeah,
expressing. You're doing what you feel.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was man, those times it was like the best experience ever, just like graduating high school, transitioning to college, meeting all the wonderful, crazy people up there. I mean, and I'm certifiably crazy myself because I'm an artist, so
We're all crazy,
yeah,
man.
yeah, we're all crazy. But yeah, it was just like an amazing time, just like uh meeting y'all, not everybody up there because whatever. But it was amazing time. It was awesome. It was really
But
cool,
I
Just
did want to touch on
yeah.
your your newest picture, that
Oh yeah.
beautiful thing you've crafted. I'm looking at it now. The story of our strength.
Oh yeah, yeah, that. Oh man.
I
Well,
I really love that.
yeah.
And so when you threw on the gold, or for me, I see it as gold.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
enriches it so much. You feel the power of it. It
Um
is something about that.
yeah.
I really enjoy that. What
Yeah,
made you?
man.
What brought you to craft something like that, man?
Okay. Well, I applied for this I wouldn't call it a competition, but just like I guess that's what it was. I guess I don't know, but there's this organization called the Mayor Star Council, and what they do, they help the community out. I still have to research about them, but they do wonderful things for the community. And recently, they created a platform where the artists can come together with the students that go to high school uh, in the DFW Metroplex, and they do different art projects connected with that school, and they put the images on bus shelters. And I was interested in being a part of that. And this was when COVID was beginning to take off, January, February, because I had a show prior to that at the Dallas Public Library, which is, oh, you were mentioning like the greatest experience that I had earlier. That's
Hmm.
another great experience was having a art exhibition at the Dallas Public Library along with some other talented artists that I know. Gwen Coney. I don't know if you know her, but she's an amazing artist, and we went to school together. She's a very talented artist. She really is, and it was just amazing being in a show with her and meeting all the other talented artists that were a part of that uh exhibition at the Dallas Public Library. It was a exhibition about Black history, and I felt honored to be a part of it. To tell the truth, I really didn't think I was going to get it. Just like
Mm.
I didn't think that I was going to be selected for Mayor Star Council, um, ec- the Mayor Star Council art project that was sponsored by the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. I didn't even know that I was going to be chosen, but I thank God for all his blessings. I thank God for, this amazing gift that he has blessed me with to share with other people. And I don't take it for granted, and there
Yeah.
were times where, I was unappreciative to where, I would just say, hey, I'm gonna quit this, it is what it is, whatever, y'all don't care. But now getting mature, I realize, I guess, the impact on my art, sorta. I'm starting to realize the impact on my art. I don't know if it makes sense, but I guess when you do stuff all the time, it's like you don't see the significance of it.
Mm,
You really don't, honestly. Have you experienced that?
I have.
Yeah,
It's when you actually sit down and have a conversation with someone about something that moved them that you
yeah,
did. I I I've had that experience with just conversations with people who might have listened to a track of mine,
yeah.
and I just thought it was this thing,
Oh yeah,
and then they tell me about how that encouraged them to do something else and inspired them. I don't know.
yeah,
It's that's kind of like you don't do it for that, but you do
yeah.
it for that as well. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it's
Oh yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
and I definitely I understand what you mean. Like it's a beautiful thing. The just to create something that inspires someone else is what I live for.
Oh man,
It's
yeah.
my whole definition of keeping the fire going.
Yeah, exactly. You keep that fire going, that speaking back to fire and being, motivated, uh that's why I did the collection Drive because that deals with being motivated too. Ironically, I have a picture, I have a painting that I named called Motivation. It's another car painting, but the butterfly doors are open and it's in this parking lot and you see the 76 gas station in the back. It's very LA-ish. That's what drew me to it. Because I'm like, man, this is so dope. And the type of car, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's called a Pagani. It
Mm.
sounds Italian. Let me search this brand while I'm on it. But
I'm
yeah, it
curious.
was
I'm
so
going back
cool.
to the photo. I've looked at it a couple times and you know
Yeah,
how when you're on Facebook you can view full size. I was
yeah.
doing that with the story of our strength and I just saw all the details in that and it's amazing. It's
Oh
amazing
yeah,
all the
yeah. I
depths.
man, yeah. I
Seeing
can
the
I can
city
get
in the
off track.
background, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, back to that. Um, I didn't think I was gonna get chosen, number one, because it's like I guess I wouldn't say, being used to rejection and all that type of stuff because, when you're used to it, it builds you in some type of way. It really does, and I was used to it just being rejected for, things that I applied for at that time. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Oh no, I didn't get accepted into this exhibition because I got accepted into like a few, but it's like the ones that you really want to be accepted in, and when
Hmm.
they say, okay, we're sorry, we're pursuing other people, like applying for a job, that really does that really that stays with you, and I'm learning how to get out of that. I mean, I'm in the process of learning how to get out of that. So
Hmm.
yeah, but when they chose me, we had this Zoom meeting, and the wonderful people of Oakcliff, the students that went to Oakcliff, that to South Oakcliff, and just the residents over there, they were telling me like so many beautiful experiences just being in Oakcliff. Their stories, the culture, the surroundings, and being born in Oakcliff, not from well around the vicinity of South Oakcliff, but I was born and raised in this place called Daniel East Camp
Okay.
Wisdom Road.
Ah,
Yeah.
we're from the same roots.
Yeah, yeah. East Camp Wisdom Road, Daniel. And if you remember it, it had so many trees out there. Just like
Yep.
a lot of trees. It was like being out in the country, but you're not in the country because it's a whole neighborhood out there. And that was what we were at one time. I still remember my old house, the way that it looked, just being out there with the trees and seeing nature. And that's another one of my influence, you know, the influence connected with my artwork, just being around nature because I guess I was raised around nature. I was raised around seeing forest and trees and wildflowers and jackrabbits and running everywhere, and snakes and tarantulas and foxes. And man, it was like being away from the city, just like far away, just like being out in nature somewhere. Even though you're surrounded by a whole community, but it was amazing. Oh yeah, back to me getting into the story of the story of our strength. Um, the residents out there were like telling me just the experience of South Oakcliff and the regular dimensions of it. The the size requirements are like 18 by 24 I would say centimeters. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I mean, I did that piece like I would say 5 times or 4 times. Hell, I forget because I had to do like a rough draft sketch for it. But I had the idea in my head, but I didn't know how I didn't know how to execute it. I mean, I did know how to execute it, but you know, I didn't know what the size was going to be because the spirit of that place is like it's bigger than like putting it on an 18 by 24 piece of paper.
I
You
feel
know,
that.
it really is just being out in Oak Cliff because it's so diverse artistically and just that place. I miss it to this day. I moved from Oak Cliff to Southeast Dallas in 2005 when I was 14 years old. So, you know, I just really miss that place a lot. And it just felt good to do something, that would represent the community, represent the people over there. And when I did it, it 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 was I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. I really didn't. I was just I saw the images in my head. I just winged it to tell the truth about it. And I'm trying to explain to you as best as I can, but I just it was like it was a
It's like an
whole spiritual
experience for
experience.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it like the stories that they told me inspired me to come up with the scenery. They were telling me about southern skatery. Let me look up this southern skatery. Because they were telling me stories about that. I'm like, man, I gotta include the skating element. Southern skate, Southern Skates roller rink. That's what it was. They were
Hmm.
telling me stories about that.
And I saw the
So I had to.
skaters in the image.
Yeah, yeah. That was what inspired that. I had to put roller skaters in there. I had to put skateboarders in there because I thought the skateboarders uh heading towards the harp would be so cool. I don't know why. I just did it. Um they were telling me stories about just like they wanted a vision of all kids, of all races, all walks of life to come together. And I was trying to do that. That's why you have like the kids playing the drums and the woman in the middle, her name is Afi. She is a storyteller, so I thought she was very important to put in there. She's like the conductor who conducts everything. So I wanted her to be the focal point. But they were telling me about the businesses over there and all the successful people that were born in South Oak Cliff or just Oak Cliff in general that went on to do bigger and greater things, in other areas. You got Stevie Ray Vaughan in there. I'm
Mm.
learning about him. Still learning about him. You know, I just started listening to his music. Uh, you have T-Bone Walker in there. You know, I still need to listen to his music. You know, he is a blues player from South Oakcliff. I think Oakcliff. Let me look him up. You have so many people that so many success celebrities that were born in Oak Cliff that it's just very amazing what they went what they what they did, you know?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to include that.
Tell me
Um
about Batwoman. I see Batwoman in this.
Batwoman. I forgot her name, but I'm gonna look her up. She actually it's Batgirl. It's Batgirl from the original 60s series Batman. Yeah, the actress that played Batgirl was born and raised in Oak Cliff, and I didn't even know that until I looked it up.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Did not know that.
yeah. Her name was Yvonne Craig. Yeah, she was an actress. She was a dancer. She was born in Oak Cliff. Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm on the Wikipedia right now. Okay. Yeah, she was born in Illinois, but raised in Ohio. But in 1951, her family moved to the Oak Cliff neighborhood in Dallas, and
Mm.
she attend Addison High School, which is awesome. So yeah, and um, so many people that have gone to do great things are from, South Oak Cliff. They're from South Dallas. They're from, just, the neighborhoods around Dallas. So yeah. But the piece itself, I wanted to create a piece full of energy and motion and just like a celebratory piece because, we're experiencing COVID and just other things right now that could really get us down. I just wanted to create a piece that inspire other people to, go for their dreams, accomplish their goals, look at life as a celebration because, you know, it's easy to look at life as just this sucks, you know. Um what's the point of it?
Yeah.
But life is just it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. You have to experience the pain. You have to allow yourself to you have to give permission to yourself to experience pain. You can't close yourself off of pain. It's just impossible. You have to go through it, you know? And
It's part of that
sometimes
experience, man. It's a part of that experience.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes through pain can come beautiful pieces of art or beautiful songs or beautiful stories. You have to allow yourself to. But yeah, I wanted the piece to be a piece that celebrates life. And that was my main motivation of. My main motivation was to make a difference. People are at that bus shelter, no matter how they're feeling, whether they're happy or whether they're sad or whether they're tired of their job. I just wanted them to look at something. It's like uh, for them to get inspired. Like, yeah, I can, keep on, doing this. Or, you know what? I'm gonna go for that dream. Or, you know, say if you had a job, and I'm not advising anyone to do this, but it's like, you know what? I don't like this job. I'm gonna quit this job and go for my dreams or go find a better job. You just really never know. But
Yeah.
yeah, and the piece it could
It
be for
does that.
anyone that lives in South Oak Cliff or anyone that's just strolling on by for them to look at it and to feel motivated.
And
So
that's
yeah,
what it
that was
does. That's what it does, man. It captures that.
yeah,
It really does.
yeah.
And again, I said, you that color you chose. Ah, man, it's perfect. Like if this
Ah,
was done
thank
in
you.
purple, that'd be cool. But gold, really, you can
Oh
just feel that energy. You can
man.
feel that energy.
Oh, you mentioned purple. Oh man. Before I chose gold, I was about to do it in purple. I was about to do it in purple. But, in my head, I'm like thinking, oh man, this is in Minneapolis. You know, I can't do it in purple because it's not Minneapolis. I have to do it like, South Oakcliff Golden Bear color. That's why I chose the gold for it because it's based on the South Oakcliff Golden Bears. So I had to. But I did a rough draft in purple. I did a rough draft in purple. Like it was like
Look,
this purplish indigo type of color. So yeah.
I can see it in purple.
Yeah.
It's just you get what I mean. It's like I don't know. It feels like the energy is just really captured, and
Yeah.
it's gold just feels well. It's that warmth, and
Yeah,
when
the
you think
war.
about energy, you
Yeah.
you think about how it's warmer
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it's less active. It really
Yeah.
captures it. I feel
Yeah,
that
exactly.
inspiration. I feel that fire still
Oh
being
man, yeah.
bright, and it's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's exactly what I wanted to convey when I did that piece. And I wish I would have sounded eloquent when I was on the live feed that they did. I was on the live feed. I was on camera. And in my head, I'm like thinking, oh man, I sound like a rambling fool because I'm so nervous because you're on live feed and people are watching you and it's like, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? What the hell am I gonna say, man? Yeah, and that's why it's a beautiful video. I think the person who shot that video, I really do, but I don't like hearing the sound of my voice when I think I'm rambling, but it's very strange that I don't have a problem doing like a podcast, speaking to you, but when I'm on camera, I'm like, yeah, okay. Okay, what's next?
It's a different experience, man. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is. Like being on camera is it's a
yeah,
different experience. Like I do want
yeah.
to move to that route though. I do want to
Oh
move to that
man,
route.
man, you should, you definitely should. You should go for it. Me on the other hand, oh hell no. You can have it.
But dude, I've had an amazing time talking to you, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I also have a couple of other things I need to get into
Oh
this
yeah,
evening,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Thank you
it's
so
been a
much for
blast,
having
man.
me. Thank you
I'm
so
I'm
much. I really appreciate you, reaching out to me and I was very honored when you did it because it's like me? Wow, me? Well, that's so awesome. Like man, thank you so much and I really do love your show. I mean, I've been listening to the episodes. I listened to that episode of you and Fidel. Man, that was so dope. That was awesome. I'm like, I
Bro,
haven't
I
seen that dude
greatly
in
appreciate
years.
you for
Yeah.
listening.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. He's dope. He's real cool. Yeah.
He's really dope. He's one of my I've
Oh yeah.
he's taught me so much.
Yeah.
Just being a fan of a fan. He's taught me so much. Fidel's one of the dopest artists I know, man.
Oh man. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Oh man. But it was so nice to just do an interview and, try to be, I guess, describe everything as best to the best of my abilities, without yeah. I really hope I made sense in this interview. I really did. I mean,
You know,
I don't know if I
I
made sense.
understood you, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I understood you. I'm pretty sure somebody else will understand you too, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because in my head, I'm like thinking, okay, I'm rambling too much. I'm not making any sense. I'm all over the place. But yeah, that's just me.
But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
drop the bot and
Yeah,
let me hold on. Just stay on for a second.
yeah, yeah, yeah.